Well, with Halloween coming up tomorrow, trick-or-treating is on a lot of people's minds. Some cities are doing trick-or-treating tonight, and others will start tomorrow. With so many people out and about to collect their candy, it is worth keeping some safety tips in mind. I'm joined now live by Kelly Coy, a physician assistant with Premier Health in Beaver Creek, talking about some tips to keep in mind to keep everyone safe during trick-or-treating. And thank you so much, and happy Halloween to you. Let's start with the main concern, kids' safety during trick-or-treating. What should be on the front of parents' minds when they are heading out the door to collect candy?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me, and happy Halloween. Yeah, I think, a couple of the big things to keep in mind is, of course, always dressing for the weather. Thankfully, this rain seems to be moving out, but always still wanting to keep layering in mind, whether it's over or under kids' costume, just being mindful of what the temperature is, just especially being out once it gets dark, being mindful that it's not getting too chilly for them, and having some appropriate shoe wear as well. Wanting to stay on those marked either sidewalks, routes, paths, whatever they're on, making sure we're not, jumping between cars, especially with lots of parked cars on the street, not wanting to jump between them, just with people driving, always wanting to see cars and make sure you're seen as well. And then a good rule of thumb is kind of to hold off on, as much as it's a little bit of a struggle sometimes, hold off on eating any of the candy until you get home, the lights are on, at least able to do a quick inspection, just make sure nothing looks off, and trying to stick with a little bit more prepackaged, kind of sealed treats, and less homemade stuff, especially if those kids have any allergies.
Well, Halloween is also full of scary imagery for little children. How can parents help mitigate fear during the holiday? Because some people go all out at their houses.
Yeah, so a couple of different things. You generally get a pretty good idea as you're approaching a house what the vibe is going to be. So especially if you've got little ones, if it looks like some of the decorations are a little scarier, then might just pass on to the next house. There's going to be probably plenty of other options out there. It's always nice to remind your child of some of those decorations, maybe explaining that the ghost is actually a sheet and some string, or explaining kind of how that they're made, and that it's pretend, and reinforcing that they're safe with you. And sometimes even keeping the trick-or-treating hour, trying to do it earlier while it's still light out, can kind of avoid a little bit of that extra fear.
Well, Kelly, for older people with PTSD from various incidents, they may also be triggered by public displays of violence or just those scary decorations. What can they do to make sure that they take care of themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something, yeah, we definitely see and want to be mindful of. So I think for the people dealing with the PTSD themselves, I think having that good awareness of what their triggers are is kind of one of the first things to be aware of. And then kind of avoiding those locations or certain activities that might be more triggering and more difficult, like whether it's a haunted house, or if there are some really scary decorations at particular houses during trick or treat, and just remembering to stay very open with communication with your loved ones. And if you are uncomfortable feeling triggered that you need to step away, just really being open about that, and or just being in touch with any trusted professional or loved one.
All right, physician Kelly Coy from Premier Health, we appreciate your time this afternoon, and once again, happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween.
Well, if you need to know when trick or treat is happening in your neighborhood,